Holly, 17.
Skiing? Is that snow skiing, water skiing?
Yes, snow skiing. Yeah. I've been doing that since I was about 6 or 7 years old, so that's also something that I really enjoy and try to do as much of as I can.
And where do you go skiing?
We've been to Mount Hotham and Mount Buller, but we tend to go up to Mount Buller just because it's closer, and we actually prefer Mount Buller as a kind of a mountain.
Okay, and who taught you how to ski?
Essentially my mum, but I did go to, when I was younger, she'd put me in ski school just so she could go off and have fun without me kind of tagging along, but essentially my mum and a little bit of ski school. I can ski black runs, which are somewhat advanced, but I love downhill skiing, so I don't do any tricks or any kind of slalom or anything. So yeah, it's quite simple. I just like going downhill fast. It's more dangerous, but it's just there's a little bit of extra stress when you're looking down a slope that you're a bit scared to go down. So I do the advanced ones, but I like having some cruisy time as well on the slopes.
Good. Have you been overseas to ski?
I haven't, unfortunately. The dream is to got a list of places I would love to go, but unfortunately no, we've just stuck to Victoria. I have celiac disease, and I'm very, very reactive to it.
How long have you had that?
Well, it's an autoimmune disease, so I've had it technically all my life, but it didn't actually start, I didn't know I had it until I was around 14 or 15, and I didn't start getting symptoms until I turned 13. And it was, until we actually found out what it was really horrible, because what happens when I eat gluten is I get a lot of reflux, and it makes it feel very difficult to breathe, and it's like a crushing pressure on your chest. Yeah. And so for about 2 years, we thought, because I also have asthma, and we thought that the asthma was all of a sudden getting really bad, but we actually found out that it was the gluten, and it's relief to know what it was. They do almost intertwine, because asthma's inflammation, and the heartburn, the reflux is inflammation as well, and so inflammation does make the asthma worse.
Like a double whammy.
It is, it's a double whammy. Yeah, I had breath tests, blood tests. I had to have an anaesthetic, because they had to put a camera down my throat to kind of try and figure out what was wrong with me. At the moment I'm not on anything, because there was a recovery period, because celiac disease is an autoimmune disease, so it's essentially when you're eating gluten, you're not being able to absorb the nutrients that you need, so your stomach has to repair itself. But once that happened, it was essentially just stay away from gluten and you should be fine. The diet itself didn't affect me much, because I've never actually been someone who's enjoyed a lot of bread or pasta or cake or any of the major gluten things. Gluten is an additive into a lot of foods. It's in a lot of flavouring, a lot of seasoning, and I'm sensitive that just one little tiny gram and I get sick for days. So it was just what I was eating, essentially. Yeah, I've actually stopped. I haven't eaten out in a very long time, because unless you actually go to a restaurant that's pretty much all gluten-free, chances are you will get sick, because I think, especially, this isn't true for all celiacs, but because I am so sensitive, I will get sick most of the time. At the moment, I haven't had time to read much with school, but I find reading, when I do get to do it, is great for escapism. It's a way to wind down and just kind of get out of like your current mind frame if you're really stressed or something. I think books-wise, my favourites are probably, once again, The Lord of the Rings. I love the Game of Thrones series. I'm a big fantasy reader. High fantasy, epic fantasy, love fantasy.
My name is Ariana and my age is 8. In my family, I've got my mum, my dad, my sister and my stepdad. My sister's name's Aurora and she's 11.
So how did you know you liked singing?
I just started to sing at home, and then I got to like it and made up my own songs, and then now I've started singing lessons.
And what songs were you singing?
Some songs from Frozen.
Dancing. When did you start your dancing?
Around 3 or 4 years old. My favourite would probably be tap, but I do ballet and jazz as well.
Do you do archery?
Yes.
Gosh, when did you start that?
This year.
And how did you find out about that, or why did you want to do that?
At the Olympics this year, I've heard people talking about archery, and then I wanted to give it a go. So my mum got me some lessons, and I've just finished those, and now I'm a member of where I do archery. I wear an orange band around my elbow, and I think it's like a type of guard that I also wear around my elbow so the bow doesn't catch.
Do you have to buy your own bow and arrow, or do you borrow it from the club?
My mum's bought me one,
Wow.
but I have been using the ones that they have there.
And do you meet people there?
Yes.
Make friends?
There's not as many kids, but there are some adults.
Arguments. Who has the arguments? Do you have the arguments?
Me and my sister.
And what do you fight about?
Basically the toys that we get normally, and she's normally into slime and Musically, and me, my dad and my mum don't really like her making a mess or making loud noises. Sometimes she wants to play with me, but she wants to play certain things that I don't want to play, and we fight about what we're going to play. We normally solve it by agreeing that we'll play one for a certain amount of time and the other for the same amount, or we just don't play that game.
Play something completely
We just play
different.
something completely different.
So bullying, you haven't been bullied, have you?
No. I've seen the older kids sometimes teasing the younger kids.
Oh, at your school?
Yeah, at school. I feel a little bit angry or sad for the one that's being teased because it's not fun and it sometimes really hurts if they tease you.
Okay. If it happened to your friend, what would you do?
I'd try and figure out a solution for the problem or tell them to stop because it's not nice to be bullied. I think I got him for a present when I was born, and I normally sleep with him and I sometimes play with him when my sister's out. He normally sleeps with me in my bed, and I normally hug him when I'm scared sometimes.
You take him with you when you go on holidays and things like that?
Yeah. Oh, a song that me and Olivia like to sing at school. It's from the movie Beauty and the Beast. Madame Gaston, can't you just see it? Madame Gaston, he's a little wife. Oh, no sir, not me. I guarantee it. I want much more than this provincial life.